Hello beautiful people, it's Sindafam. Welcome to the channel. Today we're back again with another video and still on the gist Justin Baldoni and the Blake Lively situation. We're gonna be checking this video from Candace Owens, and at this point it's no news or no surprise that Justin Baldoni has sued Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively for $400 million lawsuit, and also Taylor Swift is involved in this as well. So we're gonna be checking this to hear what Candace Owens have got to say, because I love her breakdown and I love her take on this as well, and I also love your contribution in the comments below. Let's check it out.
Listen to me, Blake Lively. Tap out. Call Uncle right now. Please take my advice. I don't feel like I am like Octagon side, the UFC fight, and you're like, oh my gosh, is this guy's neck gonna get snapped? Please just tap out. Be done. Be done with this. Ref, please call Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds out. Just call this out, because I'm telling you, they are not going to win this. And by the way, I'm gonna be honest. I love this. I genuinely love when a hashtag him too situation happens, because, in case you forgot, when the Me Too movement broke out, what was that, back in 2015, I might have been the only woman in the world who went around doing events wearing a hashtag him too shirt. This was not a very popular stance to have. There's somebody else I was working with wearing a believe facts. Obviously, you should believe facts and not believe women or believe men. And people were angry at me because so many women were just sharing stories on Twitter, and obviously women never lie. And then I was completely vindicated because the world realized, after this very strange period of amnesia, that no, women do in fact lie sometimes. Maybe sometimes a lot women lie, just like men sometimes lie, maybe a lot, but the facts never lie. Amber Heard certainly helped to catalyze that global realization. She just could not be content with winning. That's how everything happened for Amber Heard. She was winning, by the way. Don't forget, she spun a story. She was photographed with a black eye. You guys remember the notorious photo of Amber Heard walking out and she had a black eye. And then the entire world was on her side and instantly hated Johnny Depp because she was married to him. And obviously they just made the assumption that Johnny Depp blackened her eye. And then she was invited to all of these red carpet events. She became sort of the face of the Me Too movement. Money was pouring in for her and she couldn't stop. She was just high on her own supply. She was like, no, how else can I get attention for this? And then she made a fatal error. You know what that error was? Amber Heard wrote a piece published in the Washington Post. I can show you this Washington Post headline. This was at the beginning of the end. It was an opinion piece written by her. And she wrote, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. And she very heavily implied, it was very obvious, that Johnny Depp had done these things to her, which then gave Johnny Depp the window to sue her for defamation over the piece. And ladies and gentlemen, she should have settled that case right there in the moment, said, sorry, mea culpa. I am very, very sorry. And here you are, Johnny Depp. I will pay you. Just let's agree to never speak about this publicly. But I'll tell you something. When women get high on their own supply, sometimes I think it is hard for them to imagine that they might lose. And let me tell you, lose Amber Heard did. Really, I would say more than the $15 million judgment that was given to Johnny, that she had to pay him $15 million. She lost her entire reputation. The public will never see Amber Heard in the same vein, right? The actress who in 2016 was named, according to Science, they told us, as having the most beautiful face in the world. This is a real headline from the Daily Mail. Amber Heard has the most beautiful face in the world, according to Science, followed by Kim Kardashian and Kate Moss, who has a perfect forehead. She was just seen as gorgeous. Every man wanted to be with her. And then all of a sudden, we fast forward to this public trial, and we are treated to stories about her having allegedly gone potty, number 2, on Johnny's bed, okay? Don't forget, the bodyguard testified that Amber Heard told him that it was simply a practical joke gone wrong. Yeah, the public is not gonna be able to unhear that. You know what I mean? The public cannot unhear that she tried to blame going potty number 2 on her teacup Yorkies. And they were like, no, teacup Yorkies go potty number 2. It's a lot smaller. This was Amber Heard. And she talks about it with the bodyguard. It was just, it was, that's the sound effect. We all just felt very icky. And it was every piece of that trial, by the way, which was just a bad idea for Amber Heard, because while we can all acknowledge that Amber Heard is indeed gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, okay? She isn't exactly known for being an exceedingly talented actress. There are different types of actresses, some who are super beautiful and also can really act, like Angelina Jolie would be an example of this. And then there are some who are just supposed to take these roles and be hot, okay? Amber Heard was the latter. Beautiful, but we are not buying her when she's trying to be an amazing actress, and that's what she did on the stand. The facts betrayed her narrative, but she was like, I'm an actress, and I'm just going to sell that he really was the violent person. Like, one time throughout this trial, she had accused, and I'm sorry to chuckle at this because this was just a weird situation. She accused Johnny of having flown into a rage and beating her after he took MDMA. Okay. MDMA, the love drug. This was a hard sell. Hard sell. I have seen people on MDMA and it's the exact opposite. I bet you get Putin and Zelensky to hug today and everything. You could, peace settlements could have been a lot earlier for Israel and Hamas if everybody was doing MDMA, but I guess he had a weird reaction to it and flew into a rage. And now watch her try to sell this, even though, again, like I said, the facts, the text messages betrayed her narrative. Listen to Amber Heard on the stand in case you forgot.
At one point, Johnny just shoves me, just shoves me hard. And I fall back onto this glass table. I catch myself on the table. I don't know how some furniture got knocked around. There was I'm trying to stand up for myself. I'm trying to stand up, literally. I'm not, at this point, I don't even try to hit back or try to run. I'm in this hotel room trying to do my best to fight mostly the verbal accusations, but also I try to stay on my feet, At some point, Johnny whacks me in the face, and I don't remember feeling pain or awareness of my nose or anything. I don't remember thinking that. I remember kind of crying and.
Yeah. It wasn't exactly a good job. She also tried to sell that he had abused Kate Moss, I believe, threw her down the stairs. And then Kate Moss took the stand and said none of this was true. And he was loving all of his exes took the stand, and for exes to fall apart and then come together and be like, no, Vanessa Paradis, every single person that he had dated and was married was like, he was a loving, gentle creature who would never do any of these things. It was bad. It was very, very bad. And like I said, then we saw the real Amber Heard in the text messages because she was like basically saying, I hit you. And what are you going to do, you big baby? You're going to go tell that I did it, blah, 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 blah. It was crazy. I particularly love this clip also of her, I would just say, ultimately a bad performance on the stand. Take a listen.
Slapped me across the face. And I laughed. I laughed because I didn't know what else to do. I thought, this must be a joke.
So this wound up being an unmitigated disaster, okay? And I am showing you this because this is exactly what will happen, mark my words, to Blake Lively if she is put on the stand, okay? Take this to the bank. Because similarly, while she is undoubtedly very beautiful, she always has been very beautiful, she does not have the acting chops to pull this off, okay? If it was Angelina Jolie, I'd be like, yeah, do it. Get on the stand, girl. You're going to sell that. I'm going to believe it. Whatever you say, I'm going to probably put Leonardo DiCaprio up there. I'm in. Denzel Washington, forget it. He can say anybody's anything. And I'm the jury. I'm voting yes. They did that to him. Denzel Washington was abused by Johnny Depp. That's what I'm saying. Not feeling that way about Blake Lively's acting. You can't do it when you're C-list, C-list acting is not going to pull that off. So anyways, to briefly recap, Blake Lively obviously starred alongside Justin Baldoni in the movie It Ends With Us. They apparently absolutely hated one another. They had an emergency meeting at some point to deal with their hatred for one another, set some new rules on set. And then throughout the press tour, articles began leaking first about Justin to TMZ, saying that he had inappropriately asked her trainer about her weight because he had a bad back and there was a scene where he had to lift her up. And she was postpartum, so she was very offended by this. Now, Baldoni was a director of the movie, one of the directors on the movie, and he obviously, therefore, wanted the movie to be a success. And the studio company also, therefore, wanted it to be a success. And they're seeing these articles leak, and they made a move to hire a crisis management team because they sensed that perhaps somebody in Blake's team, a friend, maybe it was even Taylor Swift, who knows, was leaking this information to the press, which was creating, obviously, a frenzy, which could have impacted the movie. Now, before that crisis PR firm ever even needed to try to fight publicly, all by ourselves, I'm saying ourselves, I wasn't really a part of this, but like the public just began hating Blake Lively because of her general demeanor on the red carpet events, plus a ton of old clips of her began circulating, just being objectively rude to reporters over the years. And people just said, you know what, she's very bratty and unbearable, and I don't like her. What likely happened thereafter was Blake assumed that all of these bad articles that were being written about her couldn't have been, what? I'm Blake Lively. I'm amazing. Everybody loves me. I'm pretty. I'm friend of Taylor Swift. Obviously, Justin Baldoni must be plotting behind my back with Wayfarer Studios to get these articles because there's just no way that it could be me. I'm so funny and great and amazing. And I believe she genuinely thought that it was coming from his team. And it turns out that it maybe wasn't, okay? And I'm saying like very strong evidence that it was not coming from his team. And the hate for her was completely genuine.
Exactly. This is the thing with the mindset or the behavior that she gets everything she wants all the time, or being so used to getting things go her way. So she can't believe that people really are seeing her true personality, because obviously people have been blinded by the beauty and this facade that she um people obviously like her, because I mean she's been praised all her whole life and never been told no. So Of course, it's shocking or it's strange that people are telling her no and people are not liking her or not showing their like for her the way she perceives it or the way she wanted it. Because people can see through you. I mean, how long can you go on or continue to be the mean girl and expect people to tolerate you? People get bored and get tired of the rude behavior. At this point, anybody who is encouraging the rude behavior, I don't know, but obviously people saw the real person behind the mask and it's evident. Let me know what you think.
Evidence that it was not coming from his team, and the hate for her was completely genuine. And therefore, the crisis PR team that was hired was mocking via emails behind the back, like, ha ha ha, like, this is hilarious. Like, what are we even hired for? We didn't have to do anything. Ha ha, did you put this in the press? I couldn't have even thought this up. So with Blake's reputation shattered, she and her team then cooked up an idea to essentially try to change the narrative, right? To file a complaint, not a lawsuit. They filed a complaint with the Californian Employment Office accusing Justin Baldoni of all sorts of things, primarily in a couple of words, being a creep, right? Coordinating a smear campaign of her, talking to her about his previous pornography addiction. She accused his friend and also another director on the film of showing her what she first thought was pornography of his wife. And then she realized it wasn't pornography, but still felt it was inappropriate. And she even went so far as to say that he was creepy with an underage character on the set. Very sneaky language. Sneaky language, why? Because underage character, it turned out, actually meant a perfectly of age actress who was playing an underage character from the book. So the woman was 24 years old. They put that language in there kind of to make people feel horrified. Like, oh my God, not only is he creepy, but it's giving pedo vibes. Like, and nobody then realized that, no, actually, this is wildly manipulative. And no, the pornographic video was pertaining to a scene that she was doing on set. And he was showing a video of his wife giving birth with his wife's permission because he wanted her to understand how giving birth naturally takes place because perhaps she had no experience, it sounds like. So it was wildly manipulative. And Justin Baldoni sued the New York Times because somehow it got leaked to them. It seems pretty obvious that that might have been somebody on Blake Lively's team. And I'm going to go with, by the way, Blake sitting in a room. Around that time, she was hanging out with Taylor Swift a lot, right? Her and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were walking around like, baby, now we got bad blood. Like, you just felt the vibes. And the thing about Taylor Swift is she also lives in La La Land. This is the problem, ladies and gentlemen, with being an A-lister, okay? You live in La La Land. You are surrounded by people who tell you can do nothing wrong. They're just a bunch of yes men, okay? Just yes, yes, whatever you want, whatever you want. And so she's probably speaking about this. This is me kind of imagining what happened behind the scenes with Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift always gets back at a guy that does something to her. Taylor Swift, in all of her 97 relationships, has never done anything wrong. She puts it in a song, and everyone takes her side. That's her version of a lawsuit, of filing a complaint. She puts it in a song, a bunch of teenagers sing along with it, and she gets what she wants. People just buy her narrative. And I'm surmising that perhaps she gave some advice to her best friend, Blake Lively, throughout this time. Anyways, Justin Baldoni is not taking this sitting down. Aside from suing the New York Times, he just filed today a lawsuit against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds personally for $400 million, okay, alleging defamation and extortion. He's also suing their publicist, Leslie Sloan, and Sloan's PR firm, Vision PR. His attorneys filed the lawsuit today in the Southern District of New York on behalf of Baldoni and the producer, Jamie Heath, the publicist, Jennifer Abel, and the crisis publicist, Melissa Nathan, who we were shown messages out of context. They tried to present it to us in New York Times like these people tried to sink Blake Lively, and they left out messages which showed that they were just laughing at the fact that they didn't have to do anything because the public already recognized that she wasn't a great person. And so they were kind of high-fiving and laughing. And the New York Times declined, for whatever reason, to make that clear, probably because of pre-existing relationships. Maybe Taylor Swift's people were helping out. I don't know. Again, the point being is that he is suing them on claims of civil extortion, defamation, false light, invasion of privacy, breach of implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing, intentional interference with contractual relations, intentional interference with prospective economic advantage, plus negligent interference with prospective economic advantage. Okay. Now, I am going to show you a clip of Baldoni's lawyer, who I like very much, Brian Friedman. I like Brian Friedman. He seems like a tiger, and I can just sense he's telling the truth. I've got good vibes. Mommy intuition. This man is telling the truth. Here is him on NBC today.
Justin Baldoni has built his brand and is known for supporting women, believing women. So why in this case should people not believe Blake Lively?
I'm not asking anyone to not believe anyone. I am more than willing to take every single text message that exists out there, lay them out, put them on a website for the world to see, have them see the truth and determine the truth for themselves.
You see, whenever you got someone on one side of a lawsuit who is saying just publish everything and let the public decide, go with that person. He is more than willing to put every single text message and communication. Allegedly, she's telling us he's a creep. He stormed into my dressing room when I was feeding my baby. I was vulnerable. And he's going, wait a second. You once invited us in while you were breast pumping, sending us mixed signals. We thought this was totally fine. It's not going to be good for Blake Lively. I am telling you, the vibes are not vibing here for her. Okay. He also gave a killer statement to the press. He said the lawsuit is a legal action based on an overwhelming amount of untampered evidence detailing Blake Lively and her team's duplicitous attempt to destroy Justin Baldoni, his team, and their respective companies by disseminating grossly edited, unsubstantiated, new, and doctored information to the media. It is clear, based on our own all-out willingness to provide all the complete text messages, emails, video footage, and other documentary evidence that was shared between the parties in real time, that this is a battle that she will not win and will certainly regret. Okay. Blake Lively was either severely misled by her team or intentionally and knowingly misrepresented the truth. Let's not forget, Miss Lively and her team attempted to bulldoze reputations and livelihoods for heinously selfish reasons through their own dangerous manipulation of the media before even taking any actual legal action. We know the truth, and now the public does too. Justin and his team have nothing to hide. Documents do not lie. Yeah, that's a kill shot right there. I'm telling you, Blake, please. I know we are not homies and we never will be homies. I don't do this like Me Too modern feminist stuff, but I am telling you, girlfriend to girlfriend, you are not going to win this. You are not going to win. There's just like, I just feel it. I feel the energy that is telling me that you and your husband were a little too high up on your horse. Okay. High up on your horse, just feeling the A-list vibes, thinking that there's nothing that can possibly take you down. It happens. People get deluded. You've had a perfect childhood, everything handed to you. You grew up wealthy. I get it. I get it. There's no one in the room telling you what I'm going to tell you. You are going to lose this and much more. By the way, and there's no way to contain this. This is also going to impact your husband's career, which is a lot stronger than your career. Okay. So unless you've got some smoking gun and he's really just this bold and Brian Friedman is really just this much of a liar and you're willing to get on that stand and show that, no, you were really sexually harassed on this set, which I'm going to guess when he says videos, yeah, there were a lot of cameras there too. So she made a lot of allegations about what happened. You got to cut a lot of that stuff and they're probably still have all the things that they cut. My best guess is Justin Baldoni is telling the truth. Brian Friedman is telling the truth. And girlfriend, I'm telling you, wrap this up, settle this tomorrow. Tomorrow, settle it, okay? I got you. No worries. Take a quick blow to your career. People will laugh at you, they'll mock at you, but they'll never remember you for pooping on a bed, okay? And that's what's really important here.
This obviously gets all the more interesting as I mean, Taylor Swift is also or was also dragged in the lawsuit as well, or named in the lawsuit, so it gets all the more interesting. So obviously, except they've got serious backup to this. Oh my goodness, I don't think they can all recover from this, because imagine the fact that they think they can get things or they can do things and get away with because they are higher ups, they are big names and all that. So I mean, I've asked this question before: what would Justin Baldoni gain to somebody that is big, big name? Why would he want to risk his career for to do that? That's a question I've got to ask. Like, why would he want to risk his career to do that to somebody who is big in the in the game, in the industry, and whose husband is big in the industry? It's common sense. Common sense will tell you, and this is the problem. This is the reason why, or these are the type of people that makes it really difficult for other women or real survivors, the actual survivors or the actual victims rather, to be believed. Because people, when they come forward, it's hard to believe. But people would at one instant, no instant, or not think twice to believe people who are not even the real victims. Why is that? Just why is that? But obviously, I mean, if she's got anybody who's gonna advise her real good, real good, then she should listen to this advice, because obviously, when you're not around people who give you good advice, you really do not know what you're doing. Sometimes they act like they know, but they really do not know what they're doing. But this is all shades of wrong and it's messed up big time. But I really love your thoughts and your contribution in this. Do you think, have you read the lawsuit? Because obviously it's pretty lengthy, but it's got really interesting things on there. And myself, I'll try to take my time to also read the lawsuit, because yo is about to be real. But I would love your thoughts and your contribution in the comment below. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.